The Shadow of Murder Mansion. In the heart of Warren County, Kentucky, the quaint town of Bowling Green thrives as a beacon of prosperity, its streets lined with the charm of Southern hospitality. Home to the Corvette Museum, Western Kentucky University, and the breathtaking Lost River Cave, the town has blossomed into the state's third largest city. Yet, beneath its vibrant surface lies a dark secret, a tale of betrayal, murder, and lingering shadows that refuses to fade. The year was 1948, and the elegant yet foreboding Martin Mansion, perched ominously across from Fairview Cemetery, became the stage for a horror that would haunt Bowling Green forever. Dr. Charles Martin, a respected physician, and his wife, Martha, lived a life of relative opulence in their sprawling mansion, a local landmark purchased in 1918. Their home was the epicenter of lavish parties, where the elite of Bowling Green mingled under glittering chandeliers. The couple's only son, Stonewall Martin, grew up in this world of privilege, but remained a bachelor at 52 despite his parents' persistent matchmaking efforts. The mansion's grandeur masked a brewing storm, one that would erupt in bloodshed and forever stain its walls. Meanwhile, in nearby Glasgow, Harry Edward Kilgore, born February 28, 1923, carried the weight of a troubled past. His father's suicide in 1925 left his mother, Ella, to raise Harry and his sister alone. The Kilgores were prominent, with Harry's grandfather owning the town newspaper. But hardship shaped Harry's early years. Drawn to music, he pursued studies at Western Kentucky University, where he met Ruth Ann McKenney, a spirited young woman a few years his junior. Their romance sparked quickly, but another figure entered Harry's orbit. George Daggett, a 35-year-old music professor and head of the piano department at WKU. Harry and George formed a close bond, spending days and weeks together, their friendship raising eyebrows among those who noticed their intensity. Ruth Ann's path crossed with Stonewall Martin's at one of the Martins' extravagant gatherings. Despite the age gap, the two connected, and on June 23, 1948, they married, departing for a honeymoon that promised a new chapter. But fate had other plans. Just days later, on June 29th, under a moonless sky, Harry Kilgore drove to a wheat field near Fairview Cemetery, his heart pounding with rage. Clutching a revolver, he approached the Martin Mansion, its silhouette looming like a specter against the night. Harry broke into the mansion through the front door, his footsteps echoing in the silent halls. Dr. Charles Martin, startled in the front hallway, had no time to react. Harry fired, a bullet striking the elderly physician in the head. Desperate, Dr. Martin stumbled toward his bedroom, blood trailing behind him, but Harry pursued, unloading more rounds into the defenseless man. Martha, hearing the chaos, tried to flee, but Harry's cold precision found her, a shot to the back of her head, ending her life. The horror didn't end there. Harry lingered in the mansion, his actions growing more depraved. He tormented the lifeless bodies, striking them with a flashlight and firing additional shots, as if to erase any trace of their existence. After stealing a few personal items, including Martha's purse, he fled, tossing the revolver into the barren river as he sped back to Glasgow, seeking refuge with his mother. The next morning, 2 workers arrived at the mansion, expecting a routine day. Instead, they found a scene of unimaginable horror. Dr. Charles and Martha Martin, lifeless, their blood soaking the hardwood floors. Police descended on the scene, and a tip led them to Harry in Glasgow, sitting in his car outside his mother's house. He complied without resistance, returning to Bowling Green for questioning. A search of his vehicle revealed damning evidence: Martha's purse, a broken flashlight, and .32 caliber shell casings. Harry confessed, claiming sole responsibility for the murders. His motive? Revenge. He believed Stonewall had stolen Ruth Ann from him, and in his twisted logic, killing Stonewall's parents was retribution. Harry's sanity became a focal point of the investigation. His confessions wavered, his mental state questioned repeatedly. Yet, deemed sane enough to stand trial, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder and received a life sentence. 14 months later, a shocking twist unraveled the case further. Harry recanted his lone killer narrative, implicating George Daggett, his former music professor, as an accomplice. According to Harry, he and George had hatched a sinister plan with Ruth Ann. She would marry Stonewall to gain access to the Martin fortune. Harry and George would murder Charles and Martha, ensuring Stonewall inherited the estate. Then, they would kill Stonewall, leaving Ruth Ann to claim the wealth, which the trio would share in a life of luxury. The accusation sent shockwaves through Bowling Green. George vehemently denied involvement, claiming he had only mentored Harry due to his musical talent. He recounted the night of June 29th, saying Harry had visited his apartment in distress, leading them to wander the town before parting ways around midnight. But cracks appeared in George's story. Harry revealed the revolver used in the murders was stolen from a former roommate of George's, a theft that occurred months after George had moved out. Witnesses noted the unusual amount of time Harry and George spent together, fueling suspicion. George resigned from WKU as the accusations mounted, and a jury convicted him as an accessory, sentencing him to 11 years. However, the conviction was overturned for lack of evidence, and a second trial ended similarly, with charges dismissed. George fled to Detroit, where he lived as a piano player until his mysterious death from a heart attack in 1963. Ruth Ann, meanwhile, was never formally investigated, though whispers of her involvement persisted. Some speculated she, and even Harry's mother, Ella, played roles in the conspiracy, but no evidence surfaced. The Martin family's tragedy deepened when Stonewall died in 1957, leaving Ruth Ann to inherit the family fortune. Reports described her relentless pursuit of the estate, visiting the bank daily to secure her claim. Coincidentally, Harry's parole hearing that year was denied, but after serving 16 years, he was released. Waiting for him was Ruth Ann. The two left Bowling Green for Fort Pierce, Florida, living together until Harry's death in 1981, struck by a car during a bike ride. The murders gripped Bowling Green, drawing reporters from across Kentucky to cover the sensational trials. The mansion, dubbed Murder Mansion by locals, became a grim legend. When sold in the 1960s after years of vacancy, bloodstains reportedly lingered on the floors, a haunting reminder of that fateful night. Tales of paranormal activity swirled, whispers of footsteps in empty halls, flickering lights, and an oppressive air that chilled visitors. Former owners dismissed these claims, embracing the mansion's infamy by hosting Halloween parties, continuing the Martin tradition. Yet the current owners shun the spotlight, discouraging curious onlookers from visiting. The story's final note is as unsettling as it is poignant. In 2012, Ruth Ann, then an elderly woman, returned to Bowling Green to check on her grave marker beside Stonewall's at Fairview Cemetery. Despite her life with Harry, she never married him, and her visit suggested a lingering affection for her first husband. Ruth Ann, the last surviving figure of the saga, passed away in November 2017, taking any secret she held to her grave. The Martin Mansion still stands, its elegant facade belying the horrors within. Bowling Green has moved forward, its economic growth a testament to resilience, but the shadow of Murder Mansion lingers. The unanswered questions: was Ruth Ann complicit? Did George orchestrate the plot? Fuel speculation to this day. The Kentucky History Museum at WKU preserves the chilling records of the case, a reminder that even in a town of progress, some wounds never heal. The mansion, with its blood-stained past, remains a silent witness to a tragedy that refuses to be forgotten.